aid. And the media will talk about how this is a big, beautiful boy. This is our American son. This is our American son. How dare Hamas do this? How dare Hamas do this? He is an innocent hostage. But when an American civilian is visiting their family in the West Bank and gets killed by psychopathic, far-right Jewish Nazis, the Jewish Klan, and is victim to a lynch mob, and the Israeli military and the settlers stop an ambulance from even reaching this person, as is normal practice in the West Bank, by the way, for those of you who don't know, there is no similar reaction. The state doesn't reach out to the fucking family. The state does not even reach out to the family. Nothing comes of it. No justice is ever served. Every single one of these politicians are fucking culpable. Okay? We know this is what's going on, and we let it continue. And anyone who speaks out against it for years was actively suppressed, was considered an enemy, was viciously smeared as an anti-Semite for recognizing this glaringly obvious injustice, the unlimited cruelty, and speaking out against it. You were called an anti-Semite. Demands for your deplatforming. We must fire this person from their job for having an opinion that is consistent with now the majority. And through the last year and a half, as people have consistently protested, more and more people have become aware of this reality. Okay? That's why I tell you not to stop. That's why I tell you to keep pressuring the government to get anyone you can to listen to you, to get them to also join the protest, to get them to also join the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. You can't stop. And you must not stop, especially now when the pressure is amounting. It's becoming undeniable. Saifullah Saif Musallet, a U.S. citizen of Palestinian descent, was brutally killed in the West Bank while visiting family. The U.S. should conduct an independent investigation into his murder and demand accountability for all those involved. What is this? Small shout out on the latest doom scroll from Tim Heidecker.
Is it possible now to posit a type of progressive masculine identity? Like, how do we start to approach that topic?
Well, I try to be that person. I think I guess you had Hassan on.
Yeah.
There are guys out there.
He's shorter than me, by the way.
Is he really?
Just to be clear, yeah.
He did something for us years ago before he was talk of the town. But I mean, there are models out there, I think, that are like, you know, I find I'm a pretty average.
I can't believe Joshua Citarella would just fucking viciously lie and smear me like this.
In terms of appearance, I would think.
Yeah. Have you ever linked up with Tim Heidecker? Dog, he just said, I've done his show, which is true. I did. I did one of his like Christmas specials a couple years back.
For my age. But, you know, I'm a dad, white, heterosexual, cis male. I identify as. I mean, I don't think about this kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis, but if I analyze it, I'm like, I could easily be on the other side of this. You know, I could easily identify with all kinds of Trumpian MAGA kind of things. And I just don't.
Wasn't that the one where you met Tim Robinson and made a Dan Flash's joke that didn't land? I think so. Damn, you guys remember my experiences better than me. That's crazy. Anyway, let's watch this Democracy Now! Clip. Yeah, shout out to Tim Heidecker.
The family of 20-year-old American Saifullah Musallet is demanding justice and for the U.S. government to lead an investigation into his killing by Israeli settlers.
at some point the settlers descended on us from above with batons and just beat us up. The young Palestinian men that was with me more than myself, and myself as well, is very evident from the bruises on my face. It's important to note that there were Israeli soldiers there. They literally pried us from the settlers' hands while they attacked us while we were on the floor and they were on top of us. Despite that, they've chosen to detain and arrest us and do nothing with the assailants, despite having seen everything and despite having been there. The settlers and the military don't only work hand in hand, they are part and parcel of implementing the same policy of the Israeli government, of the Israeli regime, the policy of ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, the policy of employing as much violence as possible in order to remove Palestinians from their land.
How deep is your ask to the US government to themselves respond to this and to not simply defer to the Israeli government?
I deeply request. I feel he's an American. Like Trump says, America first. Like, so he's an American. So why are you not putting America first? An American has been killed by Israeli violence, Israeli settler violence, Israeli settler. It might be my opinion, but I call it Israeli settler terrorism.
That's what it is. Dude, let's be real. Okay? It's not America first. When it comes to whatever Israel is doing, it's Israel first, okay? Straight up. No, he not legacy American, as the fash will say. It doesn't matter, bro. Rachel Corrie was a legacy American. She's a white woman from Washington. Israel murdered her in the early 2000s. Nothing came of it. It doesn't matter. Israel has killed American soldiers, dude. What are we talking about? USS Liberty. Like, there is no putting an end to this until there is so much pressure that it is undeniable, unavoidable. So much pressure from the public that the American, the settler terrorist, she very openly stated on BBC that the government was sanctioning this. The government loves that they're doing this.
We have a group of settlers who are now following us in their vehicle. They've put their masks on as well, which is a concerning indication.
At an intersection, the settlers get out and try to pelt our vehicle. But we manage to approach a nearby Israeli border police vehicle, and the settlers turn around.
He got out of the car with the gun or something? No, he's trying to get rocks. Shoot.
When not in front of the camera, the Israeli government encourages the settler violence very directly. I mean, they don't arrest them. And they've gotten so out of control that Bezalel Smotrich literally told the settlers not to fucking beat up the IDF. They've gotten so out of control that sometimes they will beat on IDF. Like, they will beat on the very same military occupation that protects them with their fucking weapons. Okay? It's insane. This is the purest distillation of Zionism, okay? That's what it is. This is the tip of the spear. Only a couple of weeks ago, They thought that the IDF was not sufficiently allowing them to kill Palestinians and do pogroms, so they fucking attacked the Israeli occupying force soldiers, who are not innocent victims in this at all. They are participants. They're willing participants in this. Important to note that this is taking place in the West Bank, ruled by the secular Fatah that has renounced violence and recognizes Israel. No matter how the Palestinians react, they are met with oppression. Exactly. And as a matter of fact, Fatah, and specifically the Palestinian Authority, is literally an Israeli security function. The Israeli government utilizes the Palestinian Authority as a part of its security apparatus. The Palestinian Authority collaborates with the Israeli government. The Palestinian Authority actively will go after anyone who is engaging in the legal right and the moral right to resist against the illegal Israeli occupation. They play a formative role. They play a formative role in suppressing any sort of legal Palestinian resistance in the motherfucking West Bank. Okay? It is crazy. Who are the PA? The Palestinian Authority, are, de facto, basically capos in this process. And this is before we look at the harrowing sights coming out of the Gaza Strip, where the ethnic cleansing operation is in full swing. This is why I say the notion of a two-state solution is bullshit. It's already one state.
Shoot.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, shoot.
Go, drive, keep driving.
The masked men smashed the rear windshield of our car, but we managed to speed off unharmed.
No.
They turned.
It is just a small window into the reality here.
If it would have took us 5 more seconds, we all would have been beaten with
these
sticks.
You think they would have beaten us?
Yes, sir.
But your son was also killed.
In January 2024. By a settler. Simply just being there barbecuing.
What does that feel like to have to constantly try and tell the world what's happening?
You scream into the whole world, and the whole world is watching. Simply silent. Seeing all these mothers put their sons that they worked so hard to raise them up for 20 years, and you pick them up and you put them in the ground under the sky, and the silence go on and on and on.
And Israeli police tell us that they have opened an investigation into the attack on our team, and they say that they, quote, take such matters extremely seriously.
No, they don't. They fucking do not. The Israeli occupying force literally sniped a American citizen of Turkish descent who was partaking in the protest in the West Bank. Like, she was in the vicinity of a protest. They shot her in the head. No justice. That happened under Biden, by the way. No justice was ever served. No punishments were ever dished out. So all of these statements coming from like Mike Fuckabee, for example, where is it? He had a statement on this. I've asked Israel to aggressively investigate the murder of Saif Moussalet, an American citizen who was visiting family in Sinjil when he was beaten to death. There must be accountability for this criminal and terrorist act. Saif was just 20 years old. There's no way out of this. Okay? Like, these people have to be arrested and prosecuted. And the Israeli state is not going to do it. They have to literally go through a process of denazification in Israel, straight up. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee calls for the settler killing of American slave Moussalet a criminal and a terrorist act. Asked Israel to aggressively investigate. Note, not just settlers, Israeli forces also blocked ambulances from Saif. Trump had removed sanctions on the settlers. The minor sanctions that Biden had put on the settlers, he also went back and forth on. Some of the settlers, not even all of them. Some of the worst. Saif Musallet's dad says U.S. leaders still haven't reached out days after the Israeli settlers killed his son. And it wasn't just settlers. Soldiers block ambulances for hours. Saif is now the 7th American killed by Israeli violence in the last 21 months. Now, understand something. What is the treatment? What is the treatment for an American who is of Palestinian descent versus an American from New Jersey can join the foreign army of the Israeli occupying forces to do war crimes and get taken hostage in the process? And the media cycle is dominated by how fucking spectacular of an injustice this is. An American Israeli dual citizen can join the Israeli military, a foreign military, and get taken hostage or a prisoner of war in the process. Okay, as he is joined the war crime brigade. Yeah, Julie Brown. It's not. No, it's not. It's not my